Hi everyone, this is Cindy Tovsen with Cindy Harris and Danny Carpenter, and we're going to show you 4 different instructional design models and how they influence our e-learning field. We've used the ThinkPort timeline to help you visualize our models in history. Here we see the modern models. It starts with behaviorism, then moves to cognitivism, and finally prescriptive design models, all within the modern models. Toward the end of the timeline, we built the postmodern phenomenological models, which include the constructivist models. Now, within those 2 major divisions, we have focused a model in each area and how those models affect our instructional design. At the far left, we see the modern models and behaviorism. We want to highlight Benjamin Bloom and Bloom's taxonomy. Within it, we have categories for levels of learning and a listing of verbs for those levels. We use Bloom's taxonomy every time we start or update a lesson to design a curriculum. The levels and verbs help us to ensure that the learner has mastered the level by accomplishing the objective, which includes that verb. This taxonomy proves to be a good checklist in that it reminds us that there may be certain knowledge or skills that the learner has to accomplish before we teach the level that we're at. There may be prerequisites that must be completed. This taxonomy also serves to remind us to incorporate all 3 levels of cognitive, affective, and psychomotor into our well-rounded lessons. Moving to the right, in modern models, we come to cognitism and Alan Pavio. Our reflection of dual coding theory is a strong one, as we apply this every day on the job and in our e-learning projects. Using verbal associations with visual imagery, we know that our learners will connect and process the information given them through separate channels, increasing recall. Dual coding the stimulus is particularly effective in multimedia applications. Now moving further to the right with an unknown author, we come to the ADDIE framework. It was originally created by Florida State University with the military application. Dick and Carey and others have refined it along the way. The ADDIE learning theory includes phases of analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. This is another process many of us follow on a daily basis in our work. It is used extensively in training and performance. Recently, rapid prototyping has been accepted as part of the process. This includes continual formative feedback that is considered while the course is still in development and or testing. In today's world of we needed this lesson done yesterday, this process helps us to move forward while writing modifications. There are hundreds of variations of ADDIE, and each educational system or corporate culture tends to adopt their favorite variation. Dick and Carey wrote the systems approach model, which is similar instruction to the ADDIE process. Lastly, we'll move to the right and look at the postmodern phenomenological models and constructivists. Kurt Levine describes action research as a reflective process. It asks specific questions, takes a systematic look at a problem, includes a literature review, uses methods, collects data, and then analyzes the data to see how the question was answered. We think that most any problem or issue in education, corporate, or military setting could be investigated and answered with an action research inquiry. The model is very straightforward and includes sequential steps to follow in the study. It allows us as practitioners in our e-learning field to assess needs, ask questions, do research, collect data, and in the end make informed decisions that affect outcomes. There you have 4 models and how they have affected our instructional design and e-learning thinking. Please feel free to visit the timeline and investigate more for yourself. Thanks for listening.